Hi, I'm Craig Collins. I'm the CEO of GraniteWMS. This is a quick user interface demonstration. So the screen you see in front of you is a web browser. It's our web portal or web Granite desktop application. After logging on, you'll see a splash screen, and the splash screen shows our logo with a menu on the top left. Clicking on the top left, we have a number of options: inbound, stuff coming into the warehouse; outbound, going out of the warehouse; transfers, manufacturing, inventory; and inquiries or reports that we can customize on the left-hand side. Going to setup, master items or item codes, just to show you what the screen looks like. Here I have a list of all the item codes, and if I click on any one of these, I can go and set up specific things about the item. Now, what is important here is that this top piece, most of the time, if I have integration to an ERP, that comes from the ERP system. So one doesn't need to add all the item codes. One can also import item codes. And then all the other settings at the bottom are for rules and for setups of certain things. So we help you through that setup. We also have aliases, which handle all the different barcode aliases, and we have optional fields that we can specify for any master item. Also under setup, we have locations, and we have users and user groups that allows us to set up security. What's interesting about user groups is it allows us to set up different types of user groups, and these user groups get different menus on the barcode scanner, and that allows us to control what a specific warehouse user sees on their barcode scanner. Processes, I'm going to come back to, but that's where we get all our flexibility from. Granite is known for its flexibility in processes, and we're able to set up a huge number of processes with process steps and customizations at each process step. Really, that is where Granite wins in most implementations. The ability to rapidly customize a process or what's on the screen. So again, because I'm just showing user interface, I'll click on receiving, and you can see this is the process setup for Granite for a receiving process with different process steps. These steps will appear on the scanner, and I have the ability to put scripting at each step, as well as change what the step looks like. And here you see a process overview of this process. More importantly, on the user interface, I'm going to go to inbound and show you a receiving progress dashboard. This is what the dashboard looks like for all purchase orders that are currently being received. Again, this is customizable. Any grid on Granite is also filterable, so I can go and say, show me anything with the word order in it and the description. I can go and select a status that I want to see. I can select a purchase order number specifically. But this is a dashboard, so it shows you, for example, the expected date of these purchase orders, the action quantity versus the document quantity. That's a sort of a summary level, and which user has worked on it last and what the duration is, as well as a start and stop date. But again, I can bring other fields in and customize the screen. If I click onto the expansion on the drop down for the order itself, I can see the item level detail on each of these orders. Again, this is a screen specifically seen as a dashboard for receiving. Under inbound, I also have the receiving documents that I can go and actually change a document or work on a document. I've got outbound and a similar order progress dashboard for outbound. You can see this order here is complete. I have orders in the system and that I am busy picking. And then I've got a similar dashboard for transfer and manufacturing. My inventory dashboard shows me what inventory I've got on hand, and it allows me to work with a specific license plate. This barcode column here is a license plate for this specific pallet or box in the warehouse. And if I go click on it, you can see I've got specific details like batch and serial, expiry date, manufacturing date. And I have a whole lot of possible optional fields that I can set up for a tracking entity or a license plate. From the screen, I can do things like updates, moves, scraps, and adjustments. But again, I'm showing you the simplicity of the Granite system. Under stock take, we have the ability to create a stock take session and then process a session. Under processing of a session, I have got a whole lot of options like showing me what's outstanding in my session that I haven't counted yet, or showing me a summary firstly, and then showing me what's outstanding. And these are things I haven't counted, then I can see what I have counted and what I've approved, for example. So that's just the user interface for counting of stock and inventory management. And I don't want to go into admin at the moment, or additional setups, but what I do want to show you is the inquiry screens. And here I can go and set up any number of custom reports. If I go to my stock totals report, for example, I can go and set up manufacturing reports, and these are all live grids that I can filter on group, and if I filter on all safety boots, work within these grids. I can also right click and export the grid to Excel or CSV, and these grids can be customized for a specific user or for general look and feel for the company. So for example, my customer orders dashboard, I can go and take a look at, and there's a lot of customization that can be done for dashboards. This is the view that the warehouse manager has. Now, what does the scanner user interface look like? Well, this is the screen for the scanner interface, and I've got it small like this because it's the size of a scanner. But if I log on as my user, then you can see my menu is limited to what the user is allowed to do. So I've got inbound, receiving, initial take on, moves, replenishes, transfers, adjustments, and outbound picking, etc. So if I go into a specific thing like receiving, I can go and select, this is for a specific customer, select a customer, and then put in the purchase order number. Likewise, if I go into picking, I can go and say I want to pick my own stock, get my next picking document, or enter the document, or select a picking document, and I'm going to select that one, and this is what a picking document looks like. So this is the scanner user interface. If I want to move something, literally scan a tracking barcode, and if the barcode exists, it shows me the details and where do I want to move it to. I want to move it to a location called one receiving, and that's my user interface. Simple step-by-step user interface. Scan the tracking barcode and then specify the location that I want to move it to. And every part of the user interface follows that simple step-by-step type of instruction to the user, and that maps back to the processes and the process steps that I've set up for that operation. Just to show you, if I log in as a super user, all the other ones, I've got lots of other menu items and options, and any one of these can be customized, changed, and I can add new ones. So to show that flexibility, I just want to go to my setup of my processes again. And let's take a look at that move process, which has got 2 steps at the moment. So my move process has got my scan tracking barcode and then scan the location. But let's say I wanted to change that and I wanted to make a location first. So I go and say location first, then tracking barcode. And now it will ask me to location followed by tracking barcode. If I want to say to location and then scan multiple tracking barcodes, I just make it go back to tracking barcode. So it scans to location and barcodes. If I want to put in a confirmation or a stock condition comment or anything like that, I can activate that step and put it into the process. At the moment, this is the simple process. So let's say I wanted to add a confirmation. So that confirmation will be in step 2, and I'm going to make step true. Now you will see that I've got an extra confirmation step in my process. And after tracking barcode, I'm going to go to step 2, and then I'm going to go back to location. So that is the process modification. Now, if I want to copy this process and I want to say move special, create, I've now got a new process called move special. And I can rename the process, move direct to, say, QC, and update it. I've now got a process called move direct to QC, and it's a move special process. And now what I can do is default my location value to QC and make my location a default location, which means I just have to scan my tracking barcode and go to my confirmation step. So now scan tracking barcode and confirm, it will automatically move it to QC, and that's my new process. All I have to do now is go to my setup of my user groups and add that process to the user groups that I wanted to give to have access to that process. It might be only to the QC department or the receiving department. So my user interface is really simple. This setup is done as part of your implementation, which is a Granite investment in customer success. So we do this. We work with you to change this, and we do all the customizations and things like that that we've got on our scripting and our templates of the screen, etc. So that wraps up the user interface for GraniteWMS.